This week on Another Brother. But I felt like it was good for you.
Builds character.
Yes.
So we play for pain.
Willingly, we're like, we're play for
So much fun.
We're gonna play for pain, and like diving for my life as the snap of some projectile flies past my ear.
Brother over here, brother over there, brother everywhere. Another brother.
Yeah, how did our love affair with paintball even begin?
I assume
Like,
it
go
started
back-
with Alex.
No.
I would imagine
No?
it did too.
No, I don't think so.
Out of the three of us, you weren't the first to pick it up. Was it Josh?
I think it was Josh.
Really?
So
I think it was you and your friends
Max and Adam?
that started the paintball.
I
I mean, I guess
can't imagine why we would have.
you could say that maybe it started with like laser tag. And before
Yeah.
that,
That's true.
super soakers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair.
yeah. Okay, so that probably
So
did
how
lead
and who
us.
took that step to paintball?
Honestly, I'm pretty sure Josh went there
It might have
first.
been me. I do
Okay.
remember because I remember getting the what do they call them? Brass Eagle. I think the brand was Brass Eagle.
Yeah. The little
Tiny
pump action.
little like 10-shot pump action 5-ounce CO2 cartridge.
Yeah, little 10-gram cartridge.
Yeah, 10-gram cartridge from Walmart.
Yeah.
They were like $25 or something. And
25 for a single?
oh yeah, for the gun. So it was a gun.
Okay,
plus
Tiny little 50-round hopper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these pump action things were so...
but it was such a blast because
It
like we'd
was.
play it.
Yeah.
We'd go down to Willark Park.
You'd have to
And we
lob
played
the
at
balls
Willark
at each
Park?
other. Yeah,
Are
exactly.
you
Yes,
kidding
they
me?
played at Willark.
Yeah. Well, because these things are so underpowered.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to like arc it and try to be like, what's the optimal pitch on this that I can to get for this distance.
Oh my gosh.
like someone that's just 30 yards away, you'd have to lob it at them. It was so fun.
But also account for wind. And
Yeah,
like they would
definitely.
they would go all over the place. It
Yeah,
was so
I
funny.
remember trying to do like trick shots between like the branches and the trees and like.
Yes, this is how I remember the paintball starting. It was you guys at Willark.
Oh,
I don't know when or why I got into it because none
know
of
it's
my
mostly-
friends ever did.
yeah, it was mostly my friends, huh?
Like
Max, Chris, Eric.
Okay, I mean,
Okay.
none of my friends is a little much. Greg was into paintball. Sorry, Greg,
Greg
if you're
was.
listening. But Russell, Danny, Kurt,
Oh yeah.
none
They
of them
did.
got into paintball.
I think I might not have either if we hadn't started the way we did, because starting off with that super low tech,
grassroots.
yeah, you kind of you could dodge
Right.
and you could avoid the pain pretty easily. So I think as we kept stepping it up to the next level, it was kind of I don't know, that foundation kind of helped me like mentally prepare.
And this is where being the youngest brother sucked, because I always stepped it up to the next level. Well, it was delayed. I would say that.
yeah.
So I
right.
was then left with the pump actions once they got real guns. And
But I felt like it was good for you.
builds character.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I probably still feel this way about a lot of things, but especially back then when I had to learn how to draft with old school drafting machines and no computers at all. I never got to do any computer drafting in high school.
Wow.
In my head, it was like this noble thing you did to like gain respect for the way things used to be so that you could fully respect what you had available to you. And it's like, it's paintball, dude. Just get over it. But it was so fun playing out in those really tall grass fields with those pump action guns, because like you felt like you were in the Matrix, like dodging bullets as they were coming at you. It was so fun.
I keep wanting to call it Alex Olson's property, but he hadn't bought it.
He hadn't
back
yet.
then. I forgot.
We were
that was just
trespassing,
Yeah.
probably.
but it was the perfect spot, and it was so close.
Yeah.
Well, I like how it offered so much different varied terrain to play in.
Yes,
Because you had the grass, you had the barn, you had like
Trees.
the creeks and the really dense thickets.
Once you go over the farming land, once someone had the balls to go traipsing through this person's field and farmland to get to that thicket, that grove out there.
How did that start? How did we? I think was that the Nelsons? Did they show us that property?
I don't remember.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
I
surprised
mean-
either. They're the ones that lived out there.
and their dad now has their tractor out there. Come
Oh,
on,
really?
let's put those pieces
True.
together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I remember in high school doing the video production class, a lot of our filming was like based out there, just because it was so cool with those overland railroad tracks.
Yeah.
And the old rustic barn that was falling apart.
Yeah.
But I think we were already paintballing out there before me and my
videos?
friends started filming out there. Yeah. I think we were maybe just kind of adventuring into this trespassed land. And then we eventually found that thicket of trees
Yeah.
and went back there, and it was just perfect. It's like it was destined for paintball.
And I think, I'm not sure if I had graduated high school yet by that point in time, but I think so.
It straddled, I think.
Because,
You used your Sportsman's Warehouse.
yeah, and I didn't have that job until I
yeah.
graduated.
Yeah.
I got myself. That's when the arms race between you and I, Josh,
Because
started.
Alex, and you had money.
And this
to
is where
do
I
it.
started getting usable
didn't-
guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I
He had
didn't
a
have
job.
so how the heck was
Right.
I even buying that stuff?
I don't.
Maybe that's what my
know.
lunch money was going to.
Christmas, birthday, saving up. I don't know.
Yeah.
That 16-inch spiraled barrel, though.
14.
Yeah.
14
inch.
Yeah, that was my coup de grace, I guess. I don't know.
But again, going back to our video game episode, Alex very much leaned into that like covert
That
sniper.
archetype, yeah.
Yeah, you got the what's that brand of camo?
Mossy oak.
Yeah, you got
So it was
fully-
specifically
hand
their
camo.
turkey hunting camo because it was extra green. Yeah. Gloves.
Yeah.
I had it on gloves, a long sleeve t-shirt, a pair of pants, and I was really depressed this year because I had no friends. Everybody was gone to school, and I was left
They're all
at home.
gone. Yeah.
So I was watching all kinds of crazy stuff. And one of the things I watched on the History Channel was the history of camouflage. And so I then hand painted my mask
Yes.
to
Oh,
be camouflage.
yeah.
I forgot about that.
Hand painted my hopper to match.
Yeah.
My
got
gun itself
the-
was green.
Yeah.
And then, yeah,
Did
I
you
got
get
those
the visor?
the perforated
Yes.
sticker to go onto the visor. That was in like an old school Army forest
Yeah.
camo.
And your helmet
So
was
the
fully
glint-
encased, right? Covered the back of the head too.
No, that was Josh's.
Mine did. Mine did.
okay.
Well, because Alex starts right. So we're talking about paintball arms race. So Alex starts getting like super OP equipment. And
The
I'm like,
first one of
what
us to get a semi-automatic, I think.
Yeah,
Probably.
probably. I think
And
I
like
must
a
have gotten my
200
paintball
round
gun for
hopper.
Christmas. The Halo, yeah, you got a Halo hopper with the force feed, didn't you?
No.
No.
The only one that ever had one of those was Eric because he had the fully automatic.
Yes, he did.
Jeez.
The fully electric trigger. I think it was a double trigger Halo hopper. Yeah,
You had an electric trigger too, but
You did. Yeah, I remember
I
that. You
did.
had the batteries that went into the handle.
Yeah, and it had a little LCD display.
mhm.
But the only thing I remember was I programmed it to say "See, courage grows stronger at the wound." So whenever I'd pick up my
Yeah,
paintball gun
right.
and turn it on, I'd look at it and be like, "Yeah, courage does grow stronger at the wound." Just to psych myself up,
it's a good
because there were some
point.
crazy games.
A lot of stuff was going on at that point in time. Like we were really starting to get into the fact that our heritage was Scottish at that point in time too.
Yeah.
Man, that was a good time.
Yeah, and we were like really getting in. I think our meshing with Anne Boleyn.
No, not yet. That was after your freshman year of college. You
Yeah.
brought it home from BYU.
I didn't hear any until after my mission.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It came that late to us.
No way.
Yeah, you discovered them on like Pandora or something.
It was probably me and Chris because we were roommates.
Right.
Yeah, it was probably a combination of that.
But Lincoln
Wild.
Park.
Lincoln Park for me. Jimmy Eat World.
Oh yeah,
Jimmy Eat World.
big.
Franz Ferdinand.
What?
Yeah, that was,
No,
I bought that one.
Yeah,
that was mine.
Jacob's. They're Scottish, I think, or British of some sort.
Metallica. I listened to a lot of Metallica.
Oh, yeah. Well, slowly throughout this whole time, I was probably the biggest beneficiary. I spent no money, but eventually got a full kit out of the arms race.
Yeah. Man, we went crazy. I had like a proper gun carrying case.
Yes,
with, like,
you did.
Like the egg carton foam in it. And I cut it so that everything fit just right. My barrel, my gun. I think I even got my CO2 in there. Man, I miss being able to like know that gun inside and out, take it apart, fully redo all the O-rings so there were no leaks afterward. That was scary to begin with, though, figuring that out.
Yeah, it's probably felt more terrifying than it really needed to be.
Yeah.
In hindsight,
I guess.
But like, yeah, I knew my guns so well. When I did get to BYU and started doing my mechanical engineering, we had to do a project where we had to build like a complex machine, and I was able to completely 3D recreate my entire gun down to the O-ring.
I remember those
Dang, man.
renders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sweet.
I totally made up the measurements,
Sure.
But man, I remember once we were doing this so broadly amongst us and our small group of friends, and then integrating it within the young men.
Yeah, that's when it got really interesting to me. It was like Dad was playing
Oh, right.
as a sanctioned young men's activity.
On someone else's
Sanctioned,
land. We don't-
whatever.
Right.
Right. We have no idea who owns this barn. That I know you guys did this a few times. I can only remember playing with Dad once. And I think it was
Same.
probably
I
the
think-
first time.
Yeah. I think we played twice at least, but I only remember the one time.
Yeah, Dad took us. Man, it was someone's birthday.
Oh, it was
He took us to an actual
Yeah.
outdoor.
And Uncle Bob went too, and I didn't get to go.
yeah, it was Trevor's. It was Trevor's birthday party.
Trevor's.
It sounded awesome. Oh no,
Hamburger
Camp
Hill.
Rylea.
Oh yeah, Camp Rylea.
You guys took them to Camp Rylea?
I never went to Camp Rylea.
That was just me. Oh yeah, baby.
You took the guns?
Yes.
Oh man.
Because they have a full on.
I mean, yeah, that's what the city's
you've been there, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So now having been in the army, it's called a Mout city.
Mm-hmm. Not mock. Mount.
Or mock city, but we do it for Mout training. Still one of the best cities of the kind that I've been through. Yeah, that was a blast too. Oh my gosh. I can't believe we got the Oregon Guard to like let us do that.
It's pretty sweet. I think one of the best things about paintballing was, yes, it was really fun to play, but it was almost more fun at the end of a round of playing to just start recounting all of your war stories to everybody. I don't know why that was so fun, but it was so fun to just be talking about what you just did with everybody.
Yeah.
When it came, I think for us, because we were, related and or friends for so long,
Right.
it was like, it wasn't a macho ego driven thing. It was like,
roasting.
dude, you freaking nailed me. Yeah, right here. I can't believe you were.
That's true.
You were so cool. Like you were good enough to do that.
Yeah, that's
it's
totally what the spirit of it was. Yeah, it was no like trying to brag or
Right.
show each other up.
We were not what some people might say are traditional paintballers, I guess, because there are some really douchey paintballers out there, man.
Well, yeah, at Trevor's birthday party.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we had to deal with a bunch of drama.
I
Dad
don't know.
was, yeah, by the end, well, because someone, because we were there, and then they can't just close it down to one group because they have to make their money. So another
Right.
group of like 4 or 5 teenage guys showed up.
Yeah.
Someone was down. It might have been. It wasn't Dad. I can't remember who it was, but someone was down like in like thick ferns, and one of these kids was just shooting into it, and the guy was trying to wave off like, "Okay, I'm hit, I'm
yeah.
hit," but the guy just kept unloading, and then of course me being a hothead, I just like ran up right up to this kid and like pushed him hard and was getting ready to like throw down fists,
fisticuffs.
and then all the adults, Bob and Dad and everyone shows up and They're like, what's going on? And then, Dad, we're done. We're out of here. This, Trevor's birthday party's over. Dad got really, really mad. It might have been him that was getting shot. I don't know. I think it was Dad, which is why I was like murderous. Like, I'm going to murder this teenager right now. That was a hard one for me.
I don't remember that.
I don't know how, but our group of friends, we just had this innate sense of fairness for fun.
Yeah.
That nobody would ever think of taking advantage of it because it wasn't fun at that point.
Yeah.
Fairness made it more fun, and we never had to talk about the rules, really.
Yeah.
Like, if there were any game has basic rules that make it the game, but like as far as rules to make the game fair, we never had to talk about those. Like, everybody just got it. We just did it, and that's what made paintball with us so much fun.
Sorry, go on.
I've seen some YouTube videos from a guy who does either airsoft or paintball. I can't remember which. I think probably airsoft, but maybe paintball. I don't remember. Anyway, and his videos are always full of drama because people just don't want to play fair. They want to win and show that they're better than everybody, but we just wanted to have fun.
I won't name names, but I remember one or two occasions of a certain individual who we'd have to put back in line or like just get on their case for being stupid, like shooting at someone with their mask off.
Oh yeah.
Any names coming to mind?
Yes.
Yeah.
For a minute there, I was thinking a little bit, but yeah, I definitely 100% know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, what?
He's yeah. Anyway.
Yeah,
but it's true.
Because
Overall,
part of it, like, we didn't want to play for like, one hit you're out, because then you're like, oh man, but then that person's not having fun anymore.
Yeah.
So
we play for pain.
Willingly, we're like, we're gonna play for
so much fun.
We're gonna play for pain, and like, you can give up once you're done. Like, once that pain threshold is met, you can walk off the field. No, no issues. Man,
but then you
good.
just go back in somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. We would head out with. It usually wasn't the gas. The gas wasn't usually the limiting issue as much as the number of rounds.
Yeah.
But we would go out, each person with a certain number of rounds. We'd talk about how many rounds everybody has, and we'd be like, okay, let's just go play like maybe 500 rounds. And we would just kind of stop once someone had run out of rounds.
Yeah.
That brings me to another thing I remember, kind of the communal feel of it. Like, you'd all throw your balls out. Throw our paintballs out there. Yeah. And if someone was low and someone else was like loaded, like, we would communally share those paintballs to make sure we could keep playing. We had enough rounds to
if everyone wanted to
go around
keep
the party.
playing, then we'd make it happen.
Yeah.
Especially
CO2.
since I got a discount on paint and gas at Sportsman's.
Yeah.
I got really good prices on paint when I was working there.
That was it was meant to be. That job coalesced perfectly.
Yeah.
I just remember who was I think a lot of the genius behind a lot of this stuff is Chris, but also I think Alex too. Like, when did we start giving names to like the key terrain features within our wooded zone? I remember Hamburger Hill.
And I think there was a stump somewhere that we called Corn Dog.
Yeah, Corn Dog. There was medicine or the cabinet or.
Yeah, because there was an actual medicine cabinet that someone had thrown out there for some reason. Oh, that's right. We weren't the first people to be out there using it for this kind of activity.
Yeah, someone else had been there and put some some furniture elements out there, cabinets and things.
I think we could find old paint markings too.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like a homeless person had been living out there.
But for all that time, like, we never came across anybody else, which tells me it must have been like a generation behind us.
Yeah.
Or the Nelsons going out target practice.
Right.
No, because we had stumbled on this because we were tired of just playing in the tall grass.
Yeah.
There's trees over there. Let's hike out there and see. And then as we're walking through, there's like this cabinet there and everything.
Yeah.
You're like, what the heck?
It was a perfect place to play. It was iconic for our group. Just the perfect size with the perfect variety of spaces. I remember what I consider in my mind to be like the front area. It was like gently sloped, and there were trees around the perimeter all the way around. and then a couple of trees, a few trees, widely spaced out in the middle of this gentle slope that created what was kind of like a round circular area that I considered to be kind of the main battlefield. That was usually where we were.
Yeah.
And there were foxholes here and there, and that's where I think the medicine
root
cabinet
systems.
was.
Yeah,
Right,
so I think
yeah.
these trees that just created little hovels that you can...
But
Hide
like
in.
the trees were spaced out enough that it felt really open, but you didn't always have perfect lines from every spot to every other spot because there were trees out there in the middle. Oh my gosh, it was so good.
So good.
Do you guys remember you glued little clickers to the side of your guns so you could
I
communicate
absolutely remember that.
via clicking?
We got those from Erlene at a
from
Halloween
Christmas?
award Halloween party.
Or not Christmas, Halloween, yeah.
Yeah, they used to be little white ghosts.
Yeah.
And we just like filed and shaved off all the plastic
And then
until it was just the
Glue
clicker.
the clicker on.
Because we were going to play a night game at John Heater's parents' house in West Salem. Yes, that John Heater.
Napoleon Dynamite.
That's right. Name drop.
We never met him or anything, but
But that backyard was freaking dope.
yeah, we were going to play a night game, and another thing that I think I had seen watching a lot of History Channel. I was either watching History Channel, Harry Potter, or Lord of the Rings.
That's all you need.
I learned about DJ paratroopers that dropped in the night before from the gliders. They all had these like Snapple lids, and they would click at each other. 2 clicks to question, and then 1 click in response to say, I'm a friendly. And so I was like, my gosh, these would be perfect for that. Then we hot glued them to the side of our guns to be right within reach
for
of our
your
thumbs.
Yep.
That's not all. Like you and I, Josh, we went, the two of us went really crazy with our paintballing. Like we came up with so many drills to drill each other in very specific ways to increase our skills. And it was because I had been drum major my senior year, and I had it in my head to be thinking of new ways to drill marching fundamentals into the band. And I came up with some exercises of my own that I thought were really good. But yeah, so that was just kind of in my head to be thinking that way at that point. So we didn't just play for pain all the time. Sometimes we did play, you get hit, you're out.
Yeah.
Sometimes we would do that. But other times we would play these other game modes that came from these drills that Josh and I came up with. I think we called one Hunter and the Hunted.
Oh my gosh.
That was my favorite
Yeah.
drill. And
I totally forgot about that.
Really? Oh, yeah. We played that out in the grass first. And one of us would have a gun, the other would have a helmet. The one with the gun would close their eyes, plug their ears, and count to a certain number that was determined ahead of time. And the other person
change it. Yeah.
with the helmet had that much time to hide themselves. The other person, once they were done counting, would open their eyes, and they would have 1 shot to shoot the other person.
round.
1 round.
Wow.
And that was only if they could see them. And we would play, I think, variations where you could move and others where you couldn't.
Yeah, the hunter would get to walk around and yeah.
But you're saying
Oh,
that
yeah.
that base mode,
Yeah,
both stationary,
right.
so it's like a pretty limited amount of time you're counting.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Oh
we-
yeah, you're talking like 20 seconds, 30 seconds. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes 10 or
Yeah, I was
5.
gonna
I
say
think we
even
went all the way down to
shorter.
5 seconds.
I remember like hiding behind roots or something because I think we did it in the tree stands too.
We did. That was when we would play like as a full game mode with other people.
Yeah, I just remember like hiding somewhere and like tucking all of my limbs in and just closing my eyes and being like, don't breathe. Oh my god.
I can't believe I don't remember ever playing this because that's like absolutely the kind of game you guys would convince me to be the hunted on.
We would trade. We would totally trade.
Yeah. Oh, that game was great. Well, and Alex in his Masio camo, and you're like, gosh
Yeah.
dang it, where the heck are you?
Yeah, I definitely had an advantage there.
Remember when we so as we're ramping up in how we were playing, we started integrating radio systems too.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Push to talk radio. And I don't remember if you were the first one to get one, but didn't you get a throat mic?
Yes, I also got that from Sportsman's Warehouse.
Yeah, so a Vox voice activated throat mic onto his little 2-way radio.
Clear your voice to start the broadcast and
turn
then
Vox
keep
on,
talking.
yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was awesome because that's when we started like distributing. That's when we had like identified hot dog or corn dog and Hamburger Hill, and so we're like now we're like dispersed across this entire area, and we're still trying to like totally force the other side to capitulate from just the pain, right?
Right.
And so we're really trying to like trying to canalize the entire other team into an area where both of us can just like lay down fire until they run away. And so you had to be able to communicate. It was awesome.
One closing thought. I can't wait until our kids are old enough. Not where I'm at currently, not paintball, but the new like the gel bead blasters they have.
Oh.
Have you not seen those? Oh man.
No.
I think it'd be so like, I mean, we're talking a hopper the size of like a phone, 800 rounds in that bad boy.
Dang.
So you know Orbeez?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically Orbeez, only really small,
little.
right?
Yeah.
So they're about the size of an airsoft round.
But they go squish.
Yeah, but you can still feel it. They leave little marks from what I've seen. So you just throw on some glasses, and you know it's obviously more comparable to airsoft, but it's biodegradable. It's just gel.
Yes, that's the best part.
So you can go play anywhere, and you're not leaving paint or these pellets or whatever.
I mean, the paint was biodegradable.
That's true. It was,
But
and some airsoft rounds are,
rounds.
but they're cheap too.
Dang.
So someone asks, so what does POC mean? So, you know, someone says a proof of concept. So someone else thinking they're funny says, yeah, it has something to do with an MVP. So that same person who said what a POC is, he clarified MVP means minimum viable product. So I respond, that really changes my understanding of the award I got back in T-ball.
Because you were short.
Minimum viable to be a T-ball player.
Yeah.
Hey, kids. Do you know what time it is?
Okay, so back when I was in elementary school, all of my friends, minus one, lived roughly in the same neighborhood area in Kaiser. And so during the summers, you know, it wasn't uncommon to just head over to one of the houses over there, usually Max's. And that kind of became like our base of operations for whatever fun we were going to be having that
Shenanigans.
day. Yeah. But this was probably the fundamental start of my shenanigans, like the the origin story of sorts. So we were, you know, Cub Scouts, and it's Oregon, so we're very interested in the outdoors, and we feel very comfortable being in like the forest and exploring on our own and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way out there, if you're heading out to that neighborhood, like heading towards Gups or up 14th Street, at the time, you're not going to find it anymore, unfortunately. But as you get close to Marigold, I think it's Marigold or Meadowlark, you'd come across what we called Black Path, because there was a black paved pathway that came off the sidewalk that went past this open grassy field, and then eventually it sloped pretty severely down to a creek, and that entire creek area was just really heavily forested. And Black Path would take you down, and it would wrap around this little subdivision and flow along next to the creek. And there were a bunch of like wild onions and stuff down there. Yeah, we'd pick them, and you'd smell them, and they'd, you know, just smell good, and you'd suck on them and whatever. Or we'd even like
Onion.
I mean, it's
Some
cool.
of us would suck on them, apparently.
Come on. I mean, you're a kid, you're out, you're foraging. Like,
Yeah,
it's a cool
yeah.
feeling. We were pretty young.
All right.
And we'd even like try to stew some like campfire.
That's what I
onion
remember.
soup
Taking them
stuff.
back to the Breedlove's house and
Yeah.
try to cook with them.
Yeah. That never tasted good because we had no concept of seasoning. But anyway, one summer, so then this forested area was like really thickly forested. The trees were so big and like old. So they were like really just good, strong fir trees. And one summer we decided to really explore the Black Path area. And we'd go out there, and we noticed in one tree, like really, really high up in the tree, there was some wood, like stepping kind of like, you know, old school kid tree forts, a ladder up in the tree, just hammer a board in. So like really high up in the tree, there were maybe 4 or 5 of these. And you're like, what the heck? How did you even get there? And you notice some like scrap wood up there in some of the tree canopies. So very clearly we're like, oh, this is a forest fort. This is our forest fort. And we started like renovating and improving and building our forts and stuff. And like we'd get like either a 5-gallon bucket or like I think we had a wagon at one point, and we'd fill it with scrap wood from whoever's house, some old nails and hammer, and we would just haul these things down the neighborhoods over the Black Path. And
How old were you at this point again?
Gosh, well, Max moved in 5th grade, and I think it was probably that summer. So it was probably the summer
like
of my
11?
5th grade year.
11, yeah.
Yep. And yeah, so we were just renovating, and then I'm pretty sure it was my idea because I'm the one that was like really into war and like like the historicities of war and stuff. And I remember learning about Vietnam. And
I remember that in my 5th grade coursework.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I had remembered like the Viet Cong would build like punji pits and stuff and booby traps. And so we'd start. So this was just a concept at this point in time, right? We're just like, I'm just conceptualizing like, man, this is a fort. Like we got to defend it, right? There's all these options that we have.
Sure.
So anyway, as we're really developing this place out, one day we start going back and we're crossing the really long grass field that leads to the tree line. And it's just like any other normal sunny summer day. And as we're approaching the tree line, no kidding, there I was diving for my life as the snap of some projectile flies past my ear over and over again. There was another kid gang in town, and these guys were slingshotting nails at us.
Nails?
What the freak?
Nails. Like big, thick construction nails. So we hit the dirt.
Sorry, did you say you even made it to the tree line yet? You're still in the
we
field?
were completely in the open.
Are you kidding me?
So they are in the tree line, snapping these things
Oh my gosh.
at us. So of course, well, and this field has like a bunch of stingy nettle in it,
Oh, yeah.
and the grass isn't very thick. Like it's not the best cover, or it's not no cover.
It's not even
hardly any
watered, so
concealment.
it's yellow and sharp and pokey on its own.
Yeah. So we hightailed it out. And my group of friends is not one to just like capitulate and like roll over.
Yeah.
So we're like, are you kidding me? They're in our forest. We claimed it. That's our ownership. And thus started the epic battles for Black Forest. Long story short, we did put punji pits in.
Oh my god.
And we had determined that these kids were coming from the other side of the creek and they were crossing the creek.
Clear Lakers?
Yeah.
Coming into Gubser territory.
So
No way.
we had found these little like board bridges to bridge over the creek, and we'd remove them and they would just find a way to put them back. And so, oh my gosh, we found a barbed wire and we strung a barbed wire along the length of the bottom of the creek.
Oh my gosh.
Like, what the freak? This is like what happens when you let your kids read real history. It's like the reality of war meets this unknown reality of childhood.
All right, but let's get this out there. Who all were you? Did you have the 2 Chris's? Obviously you and Max.
Yeah, so it was mostly me, Max, and Adam.
Was Adam around by now?
Maybe I thought he was for that.
I can't remember when the Pryors moved.
No,
to
he
Kaiser.
must not have been. He must not have been because it was a while before he came in after Max came in. So yeah, it was probably me. It was mostly me and Max. A lot of this we did on our own.
Yeah.
And at least Chris Nelson for some of it. I don't think Curry was ever there.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of this stuff is me and Max. But anyway, that was kind of like the initial foray into just so many shenanigans. Yeah, and interesting to note, I'm actually writing a series of children's books loosely based on my childhood.
Yes, what? No way.
Yeah, I'm putting them on Amazon Kindle because you can do these. So I'm trying this serial. There's a way to like release stories in serial. So you can like release an episode at a time or like a chapter at a time.
Huh.
And
are these audio or text?
No, it's text.
Okay, are you gonna like use Midjourney or DALL-E?
I use DALL-E for this platform. It's not, you don't input images like in line with the text.
Oh, okay.
So it's just an episode. So it's like just a wall of text. But you can get it on your phone app and everything. But then the story itself has a book cover image, and I use DALL-E for that, and it's actually pretty cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dang it, that's what I was gonna do.
Oh shoot, do it. You're gonna do it better.
Thank you
For being our brother.
Wow, did
That
we
might
just
be too
nail that?
energetic though.
Okay. we'll take another run at it then.
Okay.
For being our brother. The first one was too energetic.
Gotcha.
For show notes and other brother goodness, check out our website.
Be sure to come back next week.
And tell your friends so they too can become a
Brother over here, brother over